Hey guys, I hope you're hungry. Welcome back to Full Incense. My name is Jericho, and this finally is War Stories. We've had to put them off and reschedule and do all sorts of things lately as I've been on a business trip and out of town and stuff, and not been able to record. So we still had a video every single day, but we did some more clips than usual. We did some extra Until Dawns, but now we're back with good old-fashioned War Stories. So the topic for today is going to be a review of the movie Hardcore Henry. So the way this episode is going to work is I'm going to do a non-spoiler chat for a few minutes, and then I'll move into more spoilery things, because honestly there's not super a lot to say, and you'll understand why soon. And then to wrap up, I'm gonna do sort of a revised state of Full Incense after reading your comments and talking to a few of my friends and stuff about it, how I'm actually planning on moving forward with the channel and the schedule and things like that. Okay, so first things first, Hardcore Henry. If you like action movies, you'll think this is pretty good. If you love action movies more than anything else in the world, and they're your very favorite thing, and that's really all you care about in a movie, then this will be your favorite movie. Because this is the truest action movie I've ever seen. It is 100% action all the time. There's very little, there's dialogue, there's very little character development, there's very little motivations. It is all action, which is its greatest strength and of course its greatest weakness, because I just said there's no character development, there's not really dialogue. So basically the idea here, where this movie is hanging its hat, is it's a lot like Birdman in some ways, because the whole gimmick is that the movie is in first person. So it looks a lot like this, where you basically are playing as the main character. There's not even an actor for the main character. It's 10 different stuntmen wearing GoPro headsets to pull off the effect. So you're in the driver's seat the entire time as he embarks on his quest. And that's really all there is to it. There's tons of great action. There's a lot of set pieces, and it's not just the look of it that makes it feel like a video game. There's definitely a real feeling of levels and bosses and, like I said, set pieces that really drive that comparison home, that this is a video game the movie, which is actually already a name of a movie. This is a movie that's a video game, which isn't nearly as catchy. I guess that's why they use the title for a video game the movie. Gosh, those are really disorientating now. I think that was a new effect with Outer Rim. That was crazy. Yeah, I need to know that a bunch of people are going to be using that, because it's one of the requirements for the HUT contracts to unlock the Dioxis grenade. But anyway, I digress. So that's all the movie really has to offer, is the ridiculous action. And the action is super good. In a lot of ways, it's incredible. The way it looks, the stunts, it's all believable and super, super intense and gory. This is, without exaggeration, probably one of the goriest movies I've ever seen, and certainly with a wide release in regular theaters like this, it's got to be one of the very goriest. So if you have any problems with queasiness, you don't like seeing a lot of blood and guts and that sort of thing, this is not the movie for you, because it gets pretty intense. I'll describe some of the things in a little bit more detail as we move into the more spoilery section. So the other thing that would be what's it called? I guess just watch out for this. There's a term for it. It's been a while since I've done War Stories, so I'm kind of losing the knack. But anyway, if you are prone to motion sickness, it can be tough for you. And I sometimes am, not very commonly, but it has happened. So I was curious if it would affect me, and it didn't. I was fine, and I read about it. Apparently they did a ton of reshoots and testing and all sorts of things, just because they knew that was a very real chance of being a problem, was the risk of motion sickness. So I was fine, but I have read about people being far less than fine, and I was the only one in the theater, so I could sit exactly where I wanted. Literally the only one. I went and saw it while I was on my business trip, so Iceman or Cyan or Holy Dive, nobody was able to go with me, so I just went by myself, and no one else was in the theater. So literally the only person in the entire building. But I keep thinking that gun has an area effect, and I don't really think it does. I think it's just the shot. Okay, but anyway. But I was fine, so take that for what you will, but definitely, I don't know, something to think about. Especially since, I think the theater experience was better, because I was worried because even the trailers kind of were making me feel a little bit sick. So, I don't know, that's just neither here nor there. Okay, so now let's talk spoilers. We're a little bit further in, we've gone over, you know, my general thoughts of the movie. If you like action, you'll like it. There's not a lot else to see. So, like I said, ridiculously gory. When he, just the way he kills people, like he uses, so the guy, he gets almost killed. We don't know the circumstances why, and brought back to life by his wife, who then immediately gets kidnapped. So the whole movie is him just trying to get her back, which is fine. You know, there have been weaker plots, especially since this is basically a video game. But so since he's a cyborg, he can absorb a ridiculous amount of punishment, and on top of that, he's able to use his cybernetic parts. So like one kill, he rips out his eye stalk and chokes someone with like the cord that he has instead of a optic nerve. Like, it's nuts. But I mean, it's cool. Like, it's well done. I don't know. It bothered me more than I thought it would, how little, because you don't really care about the characters. He's just a cyborg, you know. And then the big twist, again, I said this was spoilers, is that the wife doesn't care about him. That he just has the same memories implanted in him as the whole cyborg army does. So it's all for nothing. And that, I mean, robs it of, I mean, at least like the romantic, you know, he's doing all this to get his girl. Oh, she hates him. But I mean, I don't know, there's comedy, there's some funny bits. So I cannot remember the actor's name, it's gonna kill me, but he was the main character in District 9, and he's the frequent collaborator of that director. But he plays sort of your like NPC buddy, who is revealed later on in the movie why this is, but every time you meet him, he dies in a different weird way, and then he comes back as just crazy caricatures. Like, one time he's a punk rock singer, and one time he's a World War I soldier, one time, you know, he's like a stoner, you know, just like all sorts of different wacky stuff like that. But it's cool seeing him, you know, kind of strut his acting muscles like that, and I really liked that. And that was where a lot of the heart and the comedy of the movie came, because like I said, the quest itself was not really what, I mean, is not really what you're there for. You're there for the action. So don't go into this expecting a love story. Don't go into this expecting anything other than what it says on the wrapper, which is non-stop, hardcore, frenetic action. Charlton Copley is the actor I'm thinking of from District 9, and he was in the A-Team remake as well. So that's basically my thoughts on Hardcore Henry. As far as a numeric score, it's really hard to grade, because as an action movie, it's great, but it doesn't do anything else at all. And I would say, I mean, it's probably not gonna get, I'm probably not gonna get it on like DVD. I wouldn't really care to see it again. And I also think it would lose a lot not seeing it in theaters. I think on a TV screen, it might be harder to avoid like the motion sickness stuff. And once you've seen it, you've kind of seen it. But that being said, there's a lot that was cool, and I'm glad I saw. So I guess this gets like a medium recommendation. I'd probably say maybe 6 out of 10, maybe just 5 out of 10, because it's half perfect and half nothing, you know? But anyway, so that's Hardcore Henry. Now, to wrap up this war story, I just wanted to talk about the channel a little bit. So I did the last war story I was able to do was State of Full Incense right before I left, where I talked about how things were going on the channel, and I explained, you know, going out of 10 and why the schedule would be all crazy. And when this episode releases, it should be during a week that is 100% back to normal. If everything goes according to plan, it should be back on a completely normal week, and it should stay normal from then on. But it's the new normal because I'm going to change my schedule. So I looked at State of Full Incense, read your comments, went over everything, and made a decision on what I'm going to do going forward. So basically the idea, and I also explained this all in Snacks, my new series. I did another episode with Ratchet and Clank that will go up. That actually, I think, goes up tomorrow at the time this comes out. So there'll be some repeated information. But basically, the 3 main series will rotate, and then Sunday will be Full House Until Dawn. Well, Full House Until Dawn for now. So Monday will be Final Fantasy X full playthrough, and these episodes are going to start to be longer. I'm going to try, they have been between 10 and 15 minutes, usually sometimes longer, but now I'm going to try to do at least 25 minutes, maybe longer. That way I can have a little bit less, so it's not monopolizing as many days of videos on the channel, days of content on the channel, but I'm still moving through the game at a decent clip because it's a really long game and I want to get it done and move on to other projects. So that's the middle ground I decided on. So Monday, Final Fantasy X. Tuesday will be a war story, which will continue just the same as it ever has. The collaboration episode with Iceman over Skype went pretty well. There was some technical glitches that hopefully we'll be able to iron out. But I plan on doing a series with him, so that will be a lot of the war story content over the next few weeks. I'll pepper in whenever something else comes up that I want to review or talk about. I'll use that to break it up. And there are other movies coming out. Civil War, I believe, is the next big one, 2 weeks from Friday. Well, 1 week from Friday by the time this movie comes out, or this episode comes out. So I'll still do, be doing movie reviews and everything else you've come to expect on war stories. Yeah. But
now we will crush this rebellion. Stop the rebels.
So that's that. Wednesday will be the first of the 2 episodes of Snacks in a week. Snacks is the brand new series on the channel where I take a random game and do a first impressions. And I didn't really intend on this. I got the series started off on kind of a weird foot because Ratchet and Clank is going to get 2 episodes because I feel like in the first one I didn't really do it proper justice. So I went back for a second helping on that snack. But typically it'll only be 1 episode, just talking about the game and how I'm thinking and feeling about it. So that's the new series. That way we can keep changing up the games, and I can have a lot of varied content. So that's Wednesday. Thursday will be another war story, just like always. Friday will be another Final Fantasy. Saturday will be another snack. Sunday will be Full House, which right now is our playthrough of Until Dawn, which is about halfway through as of the last time I recorded. So that's the schedule moving forward. So two of everything in a week, and then 1 Full House Until Dawn on Sundays. But anyway, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of that stuff. Please leave me a comment below, let you know what you think of the new schedule. So that's going to be the plan moving forward. If anything changes, I'll do another vloggy type episode to let you know. But I think that's the plan. I think that strikes a pretty good compromise, and that's just what we're gonna. That's just how we're gonna do it for now. As always, subscribe, leave your likes and comments, dislikes and comments, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna see what I can do with Boba Fett. I don't know about you guys, but I'm full.